Rudy, not sure where you want to start, but we've been talking tariffs on and off all day today. I mentioned what Donald Trump, after we heard from Justin Trudeau yesterday, saying the tariffs are off the table, which thought was good news. Today, Donald Trump, in his post on Truth Social, talked about the fact that, okay, this one's done, the border, like there's my win there. Next thing is he wants to talk about, the economic deal between the two countries. What do you take that to mean?
Yes, this is a big, big unknown because what is exactly on the table? What are the parameters that he wants to negotiate? Are we talking about supply management, for example? We know that in the past, the U.S. have been complaining about supply management about in Canada and Quebec, especially in terms of dairy products and all. So is that something that he also wants some concession? And don't forget that, the parliament is prorogue. So there's no official channel for opposition to ask questions to the government in terms of what are they negotiating with the U.S., what's the mandate? And that's a surprise because, yes, President Trump has mentioned it. It is in his communication, but it's not in the communication of the government of Canada. They were saying, look, yes, we'll do the border czar on fentanyl and all of that, and we'll have more people at the border to secure our border. But that deal that Canada is negotiating with the Trump administration, for the moment, it's a big unknown. And 30 days, it's a very, very short period to negotiate a deal, especially when opposition cannot do their work in terms of asking questions to government and to ministers because the House of Commons is prorogue.
So I understand that you're saying, and others, I'm sure I've heard them as well, suggesting, we need to have Parliament come back in the meantime because it's a ways away. We're only in February now, at the beginning of it, and that's not supposed to happen until the end of next month. But my question is, we managed to avoid these tariffs first time around without Parliament sitting by saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have retaliatory tariffs. That worked. Do you not think we could do the same based on what's going to happen next?
No, because I think, look, if they're going to negotiate specific aspects of the Canadian-U.S. relationship, and again, I just mentioned, for example, supply management, but it can be other sector of the economy. Sometimes you have to have some stakeholders, to have some association representative that comes to Parliament, that comes to committee, that basically table documents so we know exactly what's on the table. And for the moment, it's not happening. So look, we'll see what is happening and what will happen in the next few days. But I think the government should be very open and transparent because look, we are all united. We all know, that Mr. Trump is going after Canada. So I think the government, it will be a big mistake for the Trudeau Liberals not to be as open and transparent, especially in a time of crisis.
Do you think that based on that, and as I said, I know other people are suggesting the same things, Rudy, do you think we're going to see Parliament reconvened?
I don't think it's in the Liberals' interest, and for the moment, it's only the Conservative and the NDP who's asking to reconvene Parliament. The Bloc Québécois is not asking to reconvene Parliament, so it's a bit of an odd situation. Normally, all opposition are united to ask for the return of Parliament, but the Bloc Québécois is not. So I think that in the current status, I don't think it's going to happen in the short term. But also in 30 days, what's going to happen? There'll be a new Liberal leader because don't forget that the election will be around March 9. So we'll see also what happens with the new Prime Minister, what he's going to decide, and also who's going to be his cabinet.
Yeah, it's funny. March 9th seems like so far away, given how much has been happening so quickly, literally over a matter of days, never mind weeks even. So, yeah, March 9th, I know, not that far away. And, of course, that 30 days will be over just barely over by then, I guess, right?
Yes, exactly. It will be, 30 days will be March 3rd or March 4th, and the election of the new leader is March 9th. So it's only a week after that there will be a new prime minister. So even for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he's just basically finishing it, and after we'll see what happens. And even if they agreed on this 30 days or whatever, this new deal that they're negotiating, it will be the responsibility of the new Prime Minister to possibly have a vote on it. Because don't forget that if there's going to be a trade deal or something, there needs to be a vote in Parliament.
Okay, there's a lot of moving parts here. Let me ask the other thing, and this is a comment I saw, and I know you want to talk about this as well, suggesting that the uncertainty and the threats right now, because, yes, we only know for 30 days this particular set of tariffs is off the table. After that, nobody knows. The suggestion is this is already a tariff on the Canadian economy. How?
Yes, because the uncertainty, the fact that people don't know, should they, for example, invest in their companies, should they sign new contracts with U.S. clients, or foreign investors are still looking at Canada or already making plans to move to the U.S. The uncertainty, and it's according to the chief economist of the National Bank of Canada, is saying that Canada and the Canadian economy is already facing 5 to 10% tariff that will have an impact on the economy and possibly maybe 1% lower growth this year just because of the threat and just because of the uncertainty. So I think that, yes, we're saying, okay, we avoided the 25% tariff for a month, but according to the chief economist of the National Bank, we are already de facto facing a 5 to 10% tariff just because people don't know what they're doing. Are they going to hire more people or not? A lot of things are on hold.
Yeah, we've heard some industries come out and say what you just said as well, asking that, Parliament get together because of that, because there is so much uncertainty out there. Even we've managed, as I said earlier, to dodge a bullet the first time around. I'm wondering, too, what you think of the idea that, we have 131 pages of retaliatory tariffs as laid out by this government. We keep that in our back pocket. Does that come up again, do you think?
Yes, I think we keep it in our back pocket. I think that we still have to continue to communicate to the U.S. and to tell, specifically in certain key region of the U.S. in terms of, look, your industry is going to be hit. We have to keep the pressure on U.S. congressmen and also senators and also governors because, look, we don't know what's going to happen. We've done a lot of work, but it mustn't stop because we need to continue every day to remind the American, and it's something that it's ongoing and is going to be, I think, ongoing for the next 4 years because the Trump administration is it wants to put on tariffs. We need to put the pressure and say, look, for example, this company in that specific region, it needs Canadian, for example, products and this and that, because even some farmers now in the U.S. are realizing that, hey, all of a sudden, potash comes from Canada. If they stop, we're going to be hit and all of that. So people are just slowly realizing the impact of the supply chain between Canada and the U.S.
What about this whole idea of interprovincial trade? How, given the fact that we, now have, received our wake-up call, if you will, it's time to start get moving on this stuff and say why we have a barrier here that doesn't need to be there, especially at a time like this. Do you think that gets done?
Yes, I think that we need to seize that momentum. I think that premiers, they are talking a lot now. They were able to show a united front against the U.S., but we have to know that there's currently also a 21% tariff in terms of barriers between provinces to do commerce. So I think that, and that's something that only provinces can tackle by making sure that, we have the same regulation from one province to the other, because all of that is a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of cost, and we are facing, in a way, a Canadian tariff inside our own country when we do business together, when we do internal trade. So it's one thing to fight against the U.S., and 100% we're all behind it, but can we also, among ourselves, look at how we can do to boost our economy, remove trade barriers, also, and make sure that premiers have this momentum. If they're talking to each other about the U.S., they should also seize this opportunity to talk about how we can remove those trade barriers, because only premiers can do it. It cannot be only the federal government. It needs to come from provinces.
I would ask just, and I guess as you just explained it now, that would not require Parliament to get together to waive those interprovincial barriers, would it?
No. It will be, obviously, it will be all the premiers and looking at all those regulations and just making sure that, if something is approved in Alberta, it should be also approved in Quebec and vice versa.
All right. Rudy, I thank you so much. Appreciate the time.